Making the Invisible Visible, Black Women 365 Days of the Year. Each day will spotlight a remarkable woman whose story has shaped Black, British or global diasporic history. Women whose achievements are too often overlooked. Through these daily short films, we create a living, breathing archive of leadership, creativity, resistance and legacy. Let's begin. When we speak about Black women who have changed history, we must first speak the name of Sojourner Truth. Born into slavery in New York around 1797, she was originally named Isabella Baumfree. She was bought and sold multiple times, separated from her family, beaten, and denied the right to read or write. Yet despite every attempt to silence her, she became one of the most powerful voices for freedom, justice, and truth in the 19th century. And it is important to remember that Sojourner Truth was not educated in the traditional sense. She did not come from a privileged status. Her power came from lived experience, courage, faith, and an unshakable belief in human dignity. In 1826, she escaped slavery, carrying her infant daughter. Imagine the courage that took. A Black woman walking away from enslavement in America, risking everything for freedom. But she did not stop there. She later went on to court to recover her young son, illegally sold into slavery in the Deep South, and she won. This made her one of the first Black women in the United States to successfully challenge a white man in court. She renamed herself Sojourner Truth because she believed she had a calling to travel, to speak, and to tell the truth about slavery, race, and the oppression of women. And she spoke everywhere: churches, town halls, conventions, streets, often facing hostility and threats. But her voice could not be ignored. And one of her most famous speeches, delivered in 1851 at the Women's Rights Convention in Ohio, became known as "Ain't I a Woman?" And in that speech, she challenged the racism within the women's movement and the sexism within society. At a time when Black women were often erased from conversations about womanhood, she stood firmly and demanded to be seen. She essentially asked the world, if we women deserve rights, then why are Black women excluded? Why are Black women expected to carry the burden, survive violence, labour endlessly, and still be denied dignity? For more than 170 years later, those questions still resonate. Sojourner Truth reminds us that Black women have always been at the forefront of struggle for justice, even when history attempts to make them invisible. She reminds us that activism is not always polished or comfortable. Sometimes it simply is refusing to be silent. Her legacy lives on in every Black woman who speaks truth to power, in every artist, organiser, teacher, mother, activist, and leader who refuses to be erased. Making the invisible visible is not simply about looking backwards. It's about recognising that the contributions of Black women are not marginalised to history. They are central to it. So today we honour Sojourner Truth, not only as a historical figure, but as a symbol of resistance, resilience, and radical truth-telling, because her question still echoes across generations. Ain't I a woman? And the responsibility today is to ensure that Black women are seen, heard, valued, and remembered 365 days a year. Thank you for joining us for today's story. Making the Invisible Visible is our commitment to ensuring that Black women's histories and contributions are recognised, valued, and kept in daily circulation. Across 2026, we will continue to share these powerful narratives, 365 days of impact, brilliance, and inspiration. Stay connected, join the conversation, and help us champion the women whose journeys continue to shape our world. I'm Paulette Brooks, and I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow for the next story.